Thank you very much, Prince Nuhudala Dicheche, the Executive Director of GIPI. Thank you very much. We are going to be having a panel now. The theme of this discussion, empowering Baggy women to be bold for change. And then we are imagining, as they are seated here, a lot of things have been said, done. Where do you think they should start from? Okay, maybe I'll start with you, ma'am. No. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody. I want to say that for every woman, not just the baggy woman, but especially for the baggy woman, where to start is education. And I may go to say that education is not just in the classrooms. The first thing I noticed when I came to Abuja was that I got a help in my house, and usually I don't like my helps to be idle. And then I looked for adult literacy class for that particular help, an intelligent young girl, but didn't have opportunity for education. And I noticed that unlike Lagos, where I came from, there was no adult literacy class in Abuja. So I think one of the things we should start looking at is literacy class for the baggy woman, even the ones in the bush. Because I've been privileged to go to run a private NGO around where we call the Seven Baos, behind the Akko Estate. We have Baogushi, Baokwe, Bao. They are just some, I'm a Catholic, and the Catholics used to go there for missionary work, and I found that there were a lot of women with issues of antenatal, and then education was another issue. So if we can start, the federal government built courts around there that are being used by goats and rats. Nobody uses them. If we can approach some of the custodians of these courts to give us even more room there, and we can change those, we use those rooms as literacy classes, I think that's where to start. First, you are able to write your name, at least you can open a bank account. Exactly. And whatever trade you are involved in, because I see they plant a lot of yams, they plant and they sell. They do the planting, they do the harvesting, and they do the selling. And where does the money go to? They keep the money at home and they store it. Well, if they can open the simple bank account, that will go a long way. And to empower them, because empowerment, it involves education, it involves finance, and it involves ability to stand up for your own right. But if you don't know, that you even have a right, how do you stand up for it? And I've lived in Abuja for a while, even though I've moved out of Abuja again. But I lived in Abuja for a while to know that the baggy woman is a woman to emulate. The baggy woman is, even the young girls, I see them in the estates where I used to live. And they are there 5 a.m. Some of them have babies out of wedlock, and I try to talk to them that you can go back to school. Having a baby is not a crime. Doesn't make you leprous, it's not a disease. You can go back to school. Sometimes I follow them to their homes and talk to their mothers that, okay, mama, take the baby from her so that she can go back to school. And you can see them, they are still willing to work, even with that stigma of having a baby out of wedlock. And I think there's a lot all of us can come together. Because today it is the baggy woman that we are empowering. That baggy woman will definitely meet an Edo woman, meet an Igbo woman, and also empower. So in empowering one baggy woman, they are also empowering Nigerian women. That's the basics.
This is sincerely touching. Okay, let's hear from
Great baggy women.
Grace.
Great baggy women.
Grace.
And women in general. Have you ever seen a female dog when it has children? They keep you off them because they are very aggressive. Yes. Very protective. People will tell you that when you see a female lion, you should not dare it. women all over the world. We are special. And I will tell you, everybody started like you. We all came from one place or the other. We had no voice like you. But today, we are here speaking to all of you. I said to you, it is not late. You can get it done. All you need to do is to believe in yourself. What can a man do?
That's what we're
Nothing. Your child is sick, he comes to you and says, look, I'm sick. Your husband is sick. And you rush to his wife or his mother. I said, I'm not feeling well. So, we are everywhere. We are mothers, wives, daughters, and honestly speaking, you don't have any other choice than to stand for yourself. If each one of us here, if you want to tell you the story of our lifetime, it is not different from what you're doing. Our parents suffered the way many of us have suffered. I said to my colleagues, in the past, when you wake up, you do some sweeping, some whatever. Now, our kids, we work for our parents as women, we are working for our children. It is a choice of all of us to make our daughters realize that women are born to be under pressure. So, it is a woman's choice. And I say to every woman in this house today, that it is our choice to be bold. We were born bold, strong, passionate. And we have no choice to inculcate this to our daughters. But we are not doing this. At age of 7, you should learn how to do cooking, do a lot of things. But women of nowadays, where are we? We get people to do it for our kids. They don't know anything. They don't know their culture. They don't know where yam grow. And you are asking these kind of girls to go and learn how to do pottery? How will they do it? They don't even concept, and they even see pot. They use fridge. Do they even know that they have natural cooler? So these are things that I think we need to improve on. And it starts from there. And it is we women. It's not about education. That kind of education she said is not only the kind of, she said it's not just the classroom education, but it's the education that we need to pass to the generation to come. We can't finish it, we can only start it. And it is us. Our men here, they have left everything for us. In the past, women don't see the four walls of offices. We go home, fend for them, feed them, clothe them. When they get their salary, they think about the most expensive watch. When you get your salary, you think about your child.
Yeah.
My child is going to get wedded. Let me look for a husband and start packing things for her. A man will remain a man. They were born to be princes and kings, and we accept, but we will not give up. Women, we should stand up. Be bold, be ready, be passionate, and I tell you, the sky is your limit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and especially the unique Wagi women. I sit here in support of you and all your aspirations. As a gender activist, I work for the Gender Technical Unit. It's actually a civil society unit set up at the National Assembly to support and advocate actually for positive legislation concerning the genders, both male and female. So we work in unity with men, really. We don't see them as enemies in any way. And I believe that to empower women, we need the support of men. But of course, for you to actually get the support of anyone, you have to know your own rights. So as a gender activist, my first priority is to tell you that you need to be knowledgeable about your environment, your rights as a human being, the rights of other people around you. If you don't know what your rights are, you won't know how to protect another person's rights. Just like Mr. Odiafemi has said, if you know your own rights, if you are able to understand yourself, then you can open up yourself to be able to understand other people, their uniqueness, why they are different from you. So all the issues that we have as human beings, especially as women, are there because basically we don't know our rights. If we know our rights, then we'll be able to defend them and also defend the rights of our children. A woman in the house is oppressed by in-laws, maybe by her husband or anybody, because she allows it. And it's not about allowing it really, it's about saying that you don't know yourself, because you can change another person by changing yourself, not in a violent way, not in any way that is confrontational, but being yourself, affirming your own rights in a calm and assertive way. That way you can change the person. If you become violent physically or in a way that would threaten your life, then you have a right to leave that situation. The first advice I would give is to take yourself away from any situation that is violent. So it's very important to know your rights.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Who is this baggy woman? This is the baggy woman that has suffered a long way. In the area of education, getting support from our countrymen whom God have lifted them up in political positions. Why am I saying this? We have just seen a video clip. I want to tell this house, it is a job well done, but we have a long way to go. You need history of FCT. The documentary you show was organized by us during General Babangida's regime. We have to put our heads together with our sister. She's a retired director, Lois Mekori. It is her handwork in Mushafa. For us to see how we can move baggy women forward. When I came on board as the president of NCWS, it was talk of war. There was nobody that would come to say yes in the process of struggle. We know what you are doing. We have to rally around to seek those that do not even know us to support us financially. In the last administration, I mobilized in the 6th Era Council women to contest for political position. To get support from our counter men who are our own in political position, it was something else. But those that do not know us, we have to go seeking for financial support for them. And I want to tell you today, in the last administration, all the women that contested for the position of councillorship won the election in the last administration, and they were councillors. And one of them was a deputy speaker. But when this regime came, we have been rallying around, even to our counter men who are our own. What do we do for the educated ones? To support them so that they can help those that are in the rural area. We have 262 wards. Just what you saw here is just a peanut. The baggy woman is not only a butter. There are so many things that they are doing. Shea butter is produced by baggy women in Kwali. Abaji, when you talk of groundnut processing oil, it is done by a baggy woman through hardship, grinding, nobody to support. What do we do?
The former minister, Mrs. Olajimoke, concerning the life of a baggy woman, to give us a quota, at least a percentage, a free medical care for a baggy woman, for antenatal, for our own treatment, so that we can have the strength to carry on our, to take care of our daily needs. Without the health care, honestly, the baggy woman is weak. Thank you.
ngana ba ko ko ma ko sa shi ka ba ya sa ko ba ne ko ko wa azaba tana fu ya ta ba ga ba ko ngai no ba yi ya ko za in fi lo ga je sa mi fi ga fe se ya za ba yi sa ne yi ba na ba ya kwa bi kwa fi abi shi na ba ya ta ba ba ito ko to ba ne za ba awon ko za ni wa ci ga yi ho bi na wa bi so anya ko ba du wotan shi ho fu wo wo so ko ta yi she mai wuyi din mula stroke na ba maje maje mu wa da yi lasiyo bala ya ci ta mu so da na ba maje she ba shi na ba ma ci ta na ko tigana mutum mu da la mutum ya la mu shi ko mutum tiri amma ba na mu ji haye mula ko shi ko da min muku abigwa ma bi mai gudu gudu mai mu so muku ba shawo mai biyo a yau gaskiya na yi muku shawo mai biyo ke zo kun ba shi ba na ba mai ba gwa biya za ta yi lo ba sun da su za ba yi lo jaddu su da su haye za ta yi lo jaddu na su su za ni lo jaddu na su so mu na ba ma gwa a da yi mu ko da Allah da fara ma ki ko ga ga mu na ba mas ta ina tudu da za ba ga wata ga mun da mu wajen kan da mu shi am da jaji ina banza amma mu yi dalaw mu yi kala na ba mage mula ku ne ma shi in za ka mu yi ko ni ayi mun ma shi wala ne ga feedback gita dan bari ma san ta lasi dubu da ba kara amma yana ma ku ko kawo ku dubu 60 dubu wata dan ma ba dubu 500 na yi mun ma stroke na ba ma san ta ma annu zuwa ga na ko ga gaba yin da mai ma ku ndaka ko
challenges that they are passing through. I want to answer my fellow women. This administration, we are going to collaborate with GIPI to enlighten our women. Group yourself so that we can see how we can help most of you through the office of the Federal Capital Territorial Administration, Department of Social Development. They are is a woman like us who is in charge to help our women at the grassroots. I have already said it that we have mobilized over 2,000 women. So some of you in the area of education too, we can table it. That is why we have that department, okay. Right? And the last speaker, thank God, ASO Saving Director is here. He is telling us that he farmed ginger. He has to raise 100,000 to buy the seed of ginger to go and, and plant it. By the end of the day, he knows what he gets. If he can get support for a soft loan, between maybe from 100,000 to $500,000, for him to, he's talking of empowerment. Increment in the something. Thank you.
The most interesting thing is we're here, and we liaise with 21st Century. We give our support, and I tell you, by next year, we'll have good stories to tell. I want to, the lady who says she's educated has been looking for a job for 4 years. Like I said earlier, education is not just in the classroom. And everybody can work with government. And that's why we talk of empowerment. She talked about a lot of adolescent misbehavior. If I were in her shoes, it would be an opportunity for me to become an emergency politician. I will mobilize those young people and sensitize them. I will form a club of young people. And you talk to them. You give them, I'm sure you studied something in the university. You give it back to them. It could be English. Then they become better when they are writing work. It could be math. Then they do well in their mathematics. And then somebody sees you doing that free job. We definitely come and give you a job. You can be a teacher.
Anybody doesn't have to work in Ministry of Finance. There are so many schools looking for graduate teachers. You can go there and teach. It's not a crime to be a teacher. And I've seen teachers who teach, and from teaching they get better jobs. There are a lot of people who work where I work, and they were teachers. I'm even looking forward to going back to the classroom to teach, from writing stories, you know. So I think that, and in the issue of health, especially maternal health, I think I'm in sync with the lady who spoke, because that's what my NGO has been doing in the 7 bars, Baukushi and all that. Because I realized there that they had a lot of incidents of maternal and infant mortality. And that was because there's no health facility. They didn't even really have traditional midwives there. I think that art is gradually phasing out. I'm one of those who really believe in keeping our traditional midwives, but letting them know that when they get to certain stages where complications arise, they should move their patients to a secondary facility. And that also brings me to my auntie here. When we are talking to the FCT departments, let's tell them about health facilities. There are a lot of NYC doctors that can be posted. And then when I was really active in the Bauchi area, the women volunteered that they will make the bricks for us to build a small clinic. So that, because the only clinic they had between that airport road, even the distance between that Akko estate and Baukushi was almost 45 minutes because of the bad road. You even have to drive through rivers to get there. And so coming out, even in Akko estate, they didn't have clinics. They will have to get to Gariki. And in the process, a lot of them lost their lives. So that's why I said I'm in sync, because it's something that so what I was doing then, when I was in Abuja, was taking doctors off my pocket every Saturday, which wasn't also enough. So every pregnant woman will come out, we'll give them mosquito-treated nets, we give them antenatal, and give them the simple drugs, phosphorus, and all those things, and sometimes anti-malarial, the one that was mild enough for pregnant women. And then we try to do deworming once in 3 months for all the children within that community. Any of us, there are a lot of people speaking big English who are baggy people here, and I'm glad I came here, because I should hold some of you responsible for the things that are happening in the communities. What are you giving back? Yes, your father gave back to you in Abuja, so you don't really have business, but you can go back to your communities. I was telling my sister, I'm from the Niger Delta area. Some of the things the baggy woman suffers, the women in the Niger Delta area suffer it. But I don't live there. I live in Abuja. So if I'm giving back to the women around me, the baggy women, that means I expect somebody to be giving back to the women in the Niger Delta. That's the way it goes. That's what Odia said to us here. Where you live, if I were in America, this would be my constituency, not where I come from. So let us make life. And like she said, it is a person who is alive that can carry load on the shoulder or can even have an education. So let's try and keep our women alive by just simple drugs. Let's go back. We know medical doctors who are ready to do work for free. The ones I used to take were doing it. They were NYC doctors and they were glad to go there. And they were doing it for free. So we can all, I'm sure we have medical doctors who are baggy and are living here. Let's use them. Let's form a network of people who want to move the baggy communities forward. Let's move from talk to action. That's what I expect. After this talk, we should have an action plan and an action task force, not a committee. For me, a committee is chop-chop. But an action task force, an action plan, and an action task force. All of us who live in Abuja, whether you are baggy or you are whatever tribe, let's add value to that baggy woman. Thank you.
I'm a woman. I was born with gifts and talents. Oh, I won't sit back in the crowd
Gbagi women and the effects of urbanization. And I consider that and changed the title or the topic to read Urbanization and the Effects on the Gbagi women. Because it's the activity that is affecting us. We are not the ones affecting urbanization. Am I right, sir? So, having given a general note, I want to say that the truth about urbanization is that it's happening all over the world. Urban settlements all over the world are experiencing influx into the cities or urban areas. And especially developing countries are experiencing high rates of urbanization and urban growth, changing and transforming the landscapes of our villages to cities. And for the past 36 years or thereabout, the Gbagi land generally, I wish that the laptop can project my slides so that we will see what has happened in the past 30, 35, 40 years. You know, I did a study of urban growth from Kefi down to Maraba. And I discovered that since the establishment of the federal capital, we have recorded a very high rate of urbanization. In 2012, it was close to 44% rate of urbanization around Karumaraba area. And in the study of urbanization, it was recorded that that was the highest rate of urbanization in the world. The fastest and the highest. That every motor park you go to in Nigeria, from early hours of the day, and stand to take count of vehicles that are coming to Abuja, whether they enter Abuja FCC or Abuja FCT, all the satellite settlements that accommodate more people than the FCT itself, we discover that every motor park would record tens of vehicles that are coming into Abuja. In 2012-2013, record of research showed that about 500 vehicles come into Abuja every day from the states that surround Abuja. It means that Niger State, Kaduna State, Nasarawa State, Kogi State, that surround Abuja are hosting a population that we cannot count. 2006 census population gave us the population of Nasarawa, Karu local government, Karu Nasarawa State, as 206,236 people. Only when we knew from UN that Mararaba alone was hosting 2 million people, NPC was giving us a statistic of 200 for the entire local government. And here we are. They tell us that Gbagi people are about 5.8, that is NPC of 2006. Wikipedia says we're about 15 million, and I still say that that is unacceptable. That is an underestimation of who the Gbagi people, or the number of the population of the Gbagi people. But we're saying that in these 15 million people, if you record those that have come in as a result of urbanization into these 4 states, including Abuja, making it 5, you will discover that the Gbagi people are the minority, and that there is no way you will not be marginalized. There's no way that we can contend with the rapid rate of urbanization that we're experiencing. And knowing who the Gbagi man is, urbanization has consequences that are both positive and negative. We've been dwelling on the negative aspect. The positive ones are that, yes, our villages are being transformed from rural to urban. Yes, we are seeing some things that resemble growth, but no development. We're experiencing expansion of our settlements, but no development, no infrastructure, no facilities. The last discussion that was made gave us that clearly. How can it be that in the nation's capital, a stone throw of 45 minutes, Gbagi settlements don't have clinics? How can it be? We're going far to develop places that have been ravaged by Boko Haram and so on. But close to the seat of government are people that are ravaged with poverty. People that are almost losing their identity. People that have no voice. People classified and specified as non-entities. That people will see Gbagi, somebody will ask, you mean Gbagi even has, Gbagi people have somebody like this? So Gbagi Naza Lenaima, I read on the Facebook, somebody asking, you mean Gbagi people even know what is Facebook? Gbagi people can use laptop. And someone was trying to respond. I just laughed. I said, ignorance. But you see, it is not their fault. Because what they see in the city is a Gbagi woman that is sweeping the street. The Gbagi woman that is their house help. The Gbagi woman that is sweeping the office. The Gbagi woman that is selling corn on the street. The Gbagi woman they can call a goat. The Gbagi woman. And I ask myself, with the rapid urbanization, what has it done to us? What has it done to us? How has it affected us? Has it changed us? Has it changed us positively? Or has it made us worse? The essence of urbanization is to improve the lifestyle of the citizens, provide improvements in healthcare, as we were quarreling about a few minutes ago. Education, provide access to facilities, access to credit facilities, access to networking, especially women who are always bearing the brunt of urbanization, women and children. And today we sit, and we're still crying out, 36 years after the federal capital was brought to our domot. 1976. Yes. We have seen the expansion of cities that have engulfed our agricultural lands. taking over the areas of our livelihoods. We have agreed that Baggy people are farmers. Where are the farms now? For those that have been able to still keep their farms and go to farm, before the crops will ripe, they would have harvested them. So they tell you, it's better I sell off the land so that I can have the money to do something. And yet the money is not sufficient to do anything. After we have sold all our lands, what will we eat?
No house.
What will we do? What will be the livelihoods of the Baggy people and the Baggy women? Baggy women fetch wood in arts, they work hard. But you see, the hard work has not paid off. The hard work of the Baggy woman has never paid her off. That is why we're still sitting here today, and Dela sees that there is something basically wrong, which must be corrected. But do you know that this correction must come from us? Yes. I have women here, and you saw some men that are passionate. Prof is here, my brother, my sister here, very passionate about the Baggy people. Obanichi, you will offer. Me yellow yabwa, her brother not gay yabwa confidence. Yad nabuba kala ya kuka gayi. Azan tuwa sungu gayi. Aku yibe aya zaku gayi na ga la yigifi yin takba gigifi epele na la yigifi. Ama for in the next 30 years, more than 75% of Nigerians will be living in cities, in urban centers, and we're very close. What will happen to the Baggy man that is living close and yet a rural man and rural woman? Look at mansion. Look at abject poverty. Look at our homes filled with filth. You cannot compare your own house. Even if they were to put dogs in the Baggy house, they would not, because their dog houses are better than the Baggy person's house in our land. And they have dug the gold in the land. Our daddy here said, what did they compensate us with?
Nothing.
What is paining me this afternoon is that I started something last 2 years. Prof, I will still call you Prof, sir. I started something last 2 years, sir. I wanted to map, I did a proposal to map Baggy settlements and build the history of each Baggy settlement for documentation.
It's possible.
I proposed it and I sent it. I brought it personally. I met our leaders, so to say. And I said to them, I know that this thing will cost, because we're going to use satellite images. What informed me was the fact that Baggy settlements are losing their names. They're losing their names right here, and we're even joining to call the changed names by ourselves. Maska, eh? Zakai, you know, go Aganga one-man village.
Instead of Kukwaba.
Kukwaba is Kuba. And then very, very soon, our children who we are not training to know our culture, our language, will not even know that Abuja is a Baggy land. They will not know that the settlements where we are living are Baggy settlements. used to trek it. What is Garki? Payi. Garki now is Payi. I remember we used to come to the market from Old Karu. We would trek to come to Wuse with load on our heads. Today, we have lost those names. Change that is transforming our settlements, and we ourselves are not being transformed. We have agreed that the Gbagi people are peaceful, accommodating, humble, a happy people. Gbagi people are content. The people that are content with whatever small they have. They are very calm and cordial. And that is the reason. These same attributes that are supposed to prosper us are the same attributes that are working against us. They're the same attributes, the same characteristics that the world has seen and are using it against us. They tell us that Gbagi people are timid. Are we timid? Gbagi people have low self-esteem. Do we have low self-esteem of ourselves? We don't understand who we are. We don't understand what we can do, the deposit that we have in us. Gbagi people, they say, suffer from complex. Urbanization has made us to be inferior. Or we feel inferior. The other guy that stood here said his wife was timid until he began to speak to her, to build her up. And that is what we need our men, our husbands, to help us do. Unfortunately, most of our men, you said Gbagi people are not timid, are very timid. They are very timid. They are not pushful. They are not goal-oriented. They are not visionary. They are not adventurous. They are not ambitious.
Selfish.
They give up easily. They don't push until they have it. We have had programs in Karu when Nasarawa State was doing urban renewal programs or master plan for their cities, for 4 cities. They came to Karu. I came all the way from Jos. I got there, the program was already running. I discovered there was no single person that was enlightened to defend the state of Karu town. We have chiefs, we have other chiefs, we have women group, we have youth group. No single person. Who were the people there? Outsiders. Who understand the place of planning and wanted an inclusion of what they wanted in the plan. Our people were not there. We're so naive in ourselves. We don't even know what is good for us. I'm sorry to say this, but I'm angry. Because at the end of today, sir, we will finish, and if nothing is done concretely to develop what we will carry out, to carry on with, and find someone that we chat, discuss, we will finish this matter here, and we'll go home and eat, and we're content. But I pray that my brother, Prof, and some of us that are in the academics will not sleep until we network with people like Cheshi, and our sister and auntie here, and many others who are still hidden. Because Gbagi people are full of potentials. When this woman got up and said, you have ideas to create, you have ideas to start up something, But you look at your environment and you discover that you don't have anyone or no resource. So what do?
You sit down.
Can we begin to build, to network ourselves? Can we begin to talk? When we finished here, when we went for tea break, how many people networked with anybody that spoke here? How many people talked to anybody? We sat here, we were taking tea. Business was going on outside. We want to move forward. The world that we're in is survival of the fittest. If you don't get up and look for a chair, my sister was saying we must stop looking for people that will set a table before us and give us a chair to sit. Begging women and our men, we must ensure that we are able to set a table for ourselves and sit on the table and bring the issues that concern us. Because in the era of urbanization, if you don't do it, you will lose your identity completely. And someday, the baggy nation will be a history if we don't get up. We will only be hearing that there used to be some indigenous group like that. Who knows, they have become extinct. May God forbid it.
Yes.
What are the factors that have contributed to the rapid urbanization of our settlement? The establishment of FCT. In fact, for me, this is the first factor that generated the other factors. When the FCT was not in, when the capital of Nigeria was in Lagos, we didn't have any problem.
No.
We didn't have any problem. We were living communal lives. We were living a lifestyle of contentment, so to say. We were living happy lives. Maybe poor, but we never saw it as poverty until in my study I discovered that land was never even sold.
No.
Before the federal capital was established.
No.
Land was not a tradable commodity.
No.
If you wanted land to build or as a stranger, they will easily fetch for you and say, oh yeah, do. And then the condition will be, if you're farming it, ensure that every year you bring some proceeds to the owner of the land to remind you that it is not your land, and then for security purpose. But today,
land is sold now.
all right, we have said that the economy, the poverty, unemployment, they are there. We have talked about them earlier. That our youths are staying at home, graduates.
Nobody to help.
Nobody to help. But let me say that we should stop talking about people to help us. We must stop talking about people, people to help us. There is so much in us. Let me use the scripture that God was asking Moses, what do you have in your hand? Why are you crying to me when you have something in your hand? The woman of Zarephath, Elijah, is it Elijah, Elisha, asked her, what do you have? She said she didn't have anything. He said to her, search. And she said, oh, I have a little oil that if I use today, we shall just eat and lie down and die. Did she die? No. That same little oil was the wealth that she needed. Any idea that God gives into you is to change your life and the lives of the destinies of many. Please develop it. Search yourselves and see, what is it that I have in my hand that I can use? What is it? A baggy woman will always have a solution, Prof. She will, her kitchen can never lack food, no matter how little she will have. If we can develop that idea, and a baggy woman doesn't want to beg, why do we want to start begging people on top now? Let's look inwards. Let's look inwards. Government policies may never be, government policies may never come in the way that they will favor us. We have to do something for ourselves. We have to do something for ourselves. I think baggy communities have been neglected enough. The last time we were talking about planning, even the GIPI settlements and the other settlements, we're asking for inclusion into the master plan and that the communities should be integrated. What makes the federal government think that baggy people don't want to live in the city? What makes the federal government think that baggy people inside Abuja are not fit to stay in the city? They are only fit to be moved out so that better people can stay. What makes the federal government think so? And we don't have people to challenge that. I've never seen our youth carry placards to say our people must live in our villages. We also want to be partakers of the national cake because this is our land. Abuja is not a no man's land. Abuja is our land. Yes. The reason is that the people have not been compensated. Where are you driving them to? We have one life, like Prof said, the same life that they have. Or we're fit to provide, to do the menial jobs, but we're not fit to live in mansions. We must change that course. Amen. We must change that course. We have seen occupational structure being changed. Before, our people were just farmers, isn't it? Farmers, women, we fetch firewood or go to do small, but that must change. That must change because we're living in a changing world. We must change. Urbanization is all about change, so we must change. Otherwise, poverty will increase. We will increase in our level of poverty, especially our rural women. If we don't find what to do, more people will come into our villages and they will take over the little that we are even doing. And eventually, we will become slaves in our land. My prayer is that we will not continue to remain slaves. Amen. Our settlements are suffering from pollution, which are some of the effects of urbanization, pollution of all types, noise pollution, air pollution, soil, water. I slept in one house in Garki some time ago, 3 weeks. And from the night, in fact, they call it Lagos Street, I could not sleep. Not generator only, it's the disco ground or all manner of music through the night. Noise. And that area is predominantly our people. But the shops that have been rented out or the houses are used for disco and so on. In residential area, we have increased incidences of illnesses and diseases like we heard from our people here. We have unhealthy environments.
We have to be self-determined. We have to make up our minds. We have to be bold. to say, no, whatever you see here, there is a part which we played, and we must be recognized. This is what this paper is all about. For the paper, I only want us to get some clarification, conceptual clarifications of about 3 concepts. They are self-determination, I have indigenous people, and then I have development, and maybe motivation. And I describe self-determination as one's resolve to pursue a certain objective. You cannot be self-determined if you are not bold. You need to be bold enough when you are self-determined, because when you are self-determined, remember that whatever you are going to do, whether you like it or not, you are going to face obstacles. And it is only when you have made up your mind that come what may, I am going to face this challenge squarely. It doesn't matter the outcome. And what are we saying? Let us make up our minds that it does not matter the outcome, but we must make ourselves a formidable force that should be and must be recognized by the Abuja authorities. I describe motivation as a desire or feelings that propels one to do a certain thing. When you are self-determined, what happens? There must have been something which is propelling you. There must have been something which is driving you. There must be something that is pushing you to go ahead and do a certain thing. That thing could be from within you or from outside you. This is where motivation comes in. Of course, ordinarily, sometimes whatever we do, we are usually motivated from within. You do not just embark on an action without being driven out by a certain thing, an innate tendency from within you. And then there will also be the outward motivation. Something will tell you that if I do this, these are the likely things I am going to get. For example, if you say, if I aspire to acquire certain level of education, I know that I will be a minister one day. I know that I will be a chairperson one day. These are outward rewards, which are motivational in their own. So in this, you will be determined within you to say that I have agreed that despite the challenges which I will face, I will still go ahead and face this challenge squarely. And then who are the indigenous people? They are referred to as the original inhabitants of a particular place. Every Nigerian knows that the federal capital, the original inhabitants of the federal capital, what we refer to Abuja today, are what? Are the Gbagi people. So the indigenous people are those ones who history has shown that, yes, they are the people that were originally found there from time immemorial. If you talk anything or if you discuss anything about such a land, the only thing you hear is that such a group of people were the ones living there. This is what we refer to as the indigenous people. And then we said development, we simply refer to it as sustainable improvement at all levels. And these are some of the things I want to advise that every Gbagi woman must desire to do these things. She must desire to be self-determined. She must desire to be motivated. She must, work by her motivation. And then she must also know that as an indigenous person, she has a right to life. She has a right to education. She has a right to, health and so on and so forth. So every indigenous person has certain rights. And then just as they are provided for in the United Nations Charter, they are equally there in our Constitution. If you go to chapter 4 of the Nigerian Constitution, you will see all these rights provided there. And then when we talk of development, of course, we're talking about improving our lives from one stage to another stage, going higher at all times. And I know that every woman will always desire to do what? To improve herself. So you have to be self-determined in order to arrive at that level. Women and development. Who is a woman? What role does she play in the family? What is her position in the family? What role does tradition or culture play in the life of a woman? And another question is she able to overcome all these questions above? And what does she do in order to overcome? And what does the society do to help her overcome this? It is when we answer these questions that we talk about what? We talk about development. For example, we all know that a woman generally, by our tradition, is regarded as what? As a second-class citizen. She is a farmer, she is a processor. So, whereas a woman is supposed to be given an excellent grade, what happens? She gets the lowest. She gets the lowest in the sense that it is only a woman that can go to farm, produce corn, and at the end be able to process them and go to carry them to the market. A man merely does the production. But if you ask him to process maize, he will not be able to do it. As anybody the one in the that is the truth. So, they will enter the granary, bring out the. But even that one, a woman does that. I remember that when we were kids, our grandfather used to ask us to go in and bring out the corn from there, and then our grandmother would now beat the corn. So you see that the position of the woman as a mere wife, as a mere mother, a caretaker, somebody that does not even have a mouth in the family, leaves a lot to be done. The woman cannot talk when the husband is talking. The woman cannot make decisions, or she cannot take decisions. Even if they are good, the man will always say that he has to be the one that will do the same. I also realize that even if a boy is the last born of the family and he has senior sisters who are about 60 or 70 or 50, what happens? One decision is about to be made. They will say that, "Dear boy, take you long." A boy of about 25 is going to decide for a woman of 60. Can you imagine that? So we see that we have to overcome all this if we are to develop. We have to do a lot. We have to be bold to take the bull by the horn. And like we have said, what does she do to overcome? Or what does the society do to help her overcome? There wouldn't have been need for me to stand again, because whatever I'm going to say is going to be a kind of repetition. What have you been emphasizing all this while? We have been emphasizing on what? Education. Education is very, very important. Education is very, very important. We have to, avail ourselves for education. We have to, make all efforts. We have to make all sacrifices in order to avail ourselves for education. Gone are the days that we will merely be satisfied as what? As entertainers, as praise singers. I know there have been women groups baggy women's group. But some of them, when I see them or watch them over the TV, my heart bleeds. Why? Because when there are ceremonies or occasions like this, a particular woman will carry a group of women. Can you imagine? We are more than we are more than that. If you were educated, you will not just be contented with making awulele. So education is very, very important. Education is very, very important. Somebody mentioned the issue of, some of our women or children getting pregnant and staying out of school. We must encourage them to go back to school. We must encourage them to go back to school. Of course, mistake, anybody can make that mistake. Accept the child. And even by mere fact of facing the society, the stigma, would have been enough a punishment for the girl. So help her to overcome the stigmatization. And what do you do in that instance? Accept that child, encourage her to go back to school. And if she is self-determined, what happens? She will overcome it. So there is need for us to avail ourselves for education. And then I have also suggested that we should give ourselves equal opportunities. Our men, let the society, and when I say the society, it is the men, it is our relations, our siblings that make up the society. What are we supposed to do? We must give ourselves equal opportunities.
I stand very firmly and very humbly on all protocols, with great respect for everybody that is seated here, and every man and every woman that has handled this microphone from this podium. I've learned so much, so much. So I'll jump in first, head first. I'm meant to be talking about assertive communication and development for women. I want to talk to us about who is a woman. What does it mean to be assertive? What are the aims of communication? What's communication at all? What is it? It's just talking. Then I want to just drop a few tips for us to be assertive. We've heard already that we said the perception, and they said perception is reality, is it not? The baggy people are perceived as being timid. They are perceived as being, there's some people who are seen as front benchers, some people who are seen as back benchers. That the baggy people are seen as people who are comfortable being at the back bench. Now, I have lived in FCT for 28 years. I consider myself baggy. Because if you throw me to where my parents come from, I have no roots. None whatsoever. I don't speak the language. I don't know the customs. So your problems are my problems. Yeah. So I want you to just put that there. Around me, all my life, I've been baggy people. I went to the University of Abuja. My roommate, best friend, baggy. My lovely friend, Kodia there, baggy. My assistant in the office, baggy. God knows. I'm baggy. Who is a woman? Is it a mistake of biology that made us women? A woman is trying to be an adult female. Adult human female. But let's just stretch this a bit. A woman is the cradle of life. Without you, there is no life. When we cease to birth women, humanity as we know it ceases to exist. It's a calamity. Woman is a custodian of language and civilization. If our civilization and our language disappear, let our women disappear. Because our women are the ones that speak to us in our language. A woman is the custodian of our culture. Where do we learn our arts? Look at the fantastic Lady Kwali. a woman that holds the standard for the baggy people. The woman is a custodian of our faith, of our morals, and of our values. Without the woman standing strong, standing tall, where do our laws, our morals, our values lie? In the gutter. Woman is a hope for any race. So, if the woman is disenfranchised, if the woman is marginalized, if the woman is kept in the back bench, what happens to our civilization? What are the problems of womanhood? I'm a woman like you. I know the problems. We lack representation. A friend of mine put up today on Facebook, over 200 members of the House. How many women? How many? Less than 50. Less than 50. Less than 50. Let's just be conservative. We lack respect. I will never forget the day I started my career in a bank. I went to Federal Secretariat as a marketer. And when I came out after the meeting, the driver that took me, the office driver, was nowhere to be found. And I took a cab back to the office. When I got back to the office, he was there. And I said, why did you do that? I reprimanded him. Hey. Which woman? Don't talk to me like that. Oh. You know a woman? I asked, how do you know? I asked someone like you at home. I have your type. If you've had that experience, please. We lack opportunity. And we lack a voice. Why? Is it that God did not give us vocal cords? Is it that God did not give us ability? Is it that God did not give us a mind? Is it that God did not give us passions? Is it that, what is the reason? I actually think it's because a lot of us are comfortable in the back bench. Because we don't want to ruffle feathers. We don't want to upset anybody. We've been told that women are to be seen and not heard. Sorry, we should be heard.
Not seen.
Well, seen and heard. I want to be seen, I want to be heard. This topic, assertiveness, is close to my heart. Because I never used to be assertive. But let's look at assertiveness from the place of communication. Because assertiveness has to do with communication. What do you want to achieve when you're communicating? What do you want to achieve? Who can help me? Throw out words. When you communicate, what do you want to achieve? What are the aims of communication? Information, to pass information. Correctly, yes. Have feedback, yes. Who else? Create awareness. When you communicate, you want attention. Do we not want attention for the plight of the baggy women in this nation? We need to communicate properly. When you communicate, you want to create an understanding. Do you not want people to understand what we are going through? Do we not? Answer. Yes. So we need to create understanding. That's why we communicate. We also want to persuade and to get and to give information. Until I tell you that my shoes are hurting me, you will not know, will you? No. Good. When people communicate, there's 4 types of ways people communicate. From one end of the spectrum to the other. It could be passive, soft voice, always agreeing, yes, yes, no eye contact. Avoid difficult conversations. Like the conversation that must take place after this, when we will ask our representatives in the House and in the Senate, why did you not come? That is a conversation that must happen. Withdrawn body language. We also have aggressive. People are now trying to find themselves. Blaming, accusing, intimidating body language, harsh, raised voice, demanding. Then we have passive aggressive. When we live here, we now criticize. Appears to agree, but in their heart does not agree. Just like the child that says, that the father says, come on, will you sit down there? Then they don't sit down. Then daddy slaps the boy. Then the boy sits down. He says, daddy, you know what? I may be sitting down, but in my heart, I'm standing up. Passive aggressive. Then we have where we want to be, which is the point that endears communication, understanding, passing information, persuasion, which is assertiveness, we need to be assertive. And this realm, we listen actively. We take responsibility for what's happening around us. We focus on solutions, we are sincere. We're already halfway there. We have a reputation internationally for being a sincere people, do we not? So why are we not assertive? Assertiveness is not about being aggressive. It's about standing up for yourself and also respecting the opinions of others and the needs of others. Assertiveness is a tool that will help you communicate what you are going through properly, that you will get a favorable response. Do we not want a favorable response? Good. When we communicate assertively, we are clear about our opinions and our wishes. We are also open to others. When we communicate assertively, we know what it is we are going through. We know where the shoe is pinching us. And we can communicate it from a position of strength and a position of dignity, not a position of collecting salt money. True? Are we here? Yes. Now, what are the benefits of communicating assertively? What do you think? What kind of benefits do you think you have if you communicate assertively? Let me hear. Anybody can help us? You achieve your goals, yes. Who else? You get results, fantastic. You talked about health. Do you know that when you communicate assertively, you manage stress? You know that burning feeling at the pit of your stomach when things don't go your way, when you leave a place and nobody quite understands you, and you feel as though there's something missing here, and you go home and you're like, that thing is churning. That thing can cause cancer. It happens when you're not assertive.
So they gave us links we studied, and we had facilitators. So I could be your small facilitator here. We'll be communicating. I'll be sending materials to you. I did that for more than 3 months, and I was reading and I was responding to assignment. For those that are not computer literate, that's why we're here, so that some of these trainings can come to reality. I will be sending, we have hard copy material. But basically, why this program was put together is that it's no more, there's no need to we don't have to carry placard, we don't have to be angry with the government. We have policies that can guide us. We have national policies, we have international policies. Like I tell everybody everywhere, we're going to be sharing video, we're going to have forum. You will see that there was a day I was talking and I was in tears, because what shocked me was that I found, when I was in New York, was that I found out most of our challenges is the same thing a Bangladesh woman is suffering. Even America, in Dakota, in India, we have the same issues, the same, according to the children. And now because of internet, because of technology, you cannot connect. My sister in India, how do we do this? We are praying for resources, we will bring them, we will go there. I have a friend, one of mine, I call them friends and sisters now, you know. She started looking for how to circulate food stuff within India. You know, they have issue with land issues. She came with solutions. You know, even me, I felt so little when I went for the training, because I saw what young people we do for their. We are not doing anything. I was first Nigerian trained. We are not doing anything, truly. You will see people from the age of 13. You see some 16-year-old girls will say they are starving, that they will not eat until they die because they want the government, that the energy pollution is too much. They will not eat. 16 years old, they will come together. When the government see that it's true, it's getting to 12 days old, these people are done. Here, come, let's talk. We can come up with policies that you know, you don't have to sit down and keep no more. We can document issues. We can tell the government we have. So I'm going to share 3 international instruments. I won't talk so much about it. For us that are on the internet, we'll share links, you read about it so that it can stick. Then for those that can read and write, I will material. The first one and the most important is the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. We can put that down. If you Google it, and Auntie Titi taught me, sorry, I call Auntie Titi. She will tell me anything you want is on the internet. How to tie gele, it's on the internet. How do I help my people without fighting? It's on the internet. Technology is making the world faster, making it smaller, making solution accessible. You know, even my mom said, she said, this internet will not kill you people. Or everything, I'll say, when she talks, I say, yes, this is what they talk about, this is what the internet says about childbirth. So we should learn, for those that are not computer literate, please let's try it. It's on our phone. Now that's why we have this app. We Google this solution. So the first is United Nations Declaration. Indigenous people like us came over the years. From the time of World War, they came together, they've been talking, how do they not segregate? You know, we look, we need to, Google, you will see some people work, even in America, they still work with some, they work with very beautiful, let's call it beautiful things. They use leather. You know, they were like, people see us and run away. How do we make these people, how do we celebrate our traditional knowledge? They've been going on and on and on. And I want to tell you that indigenous people in the international world are the first people that have written their declaration by themselves. Declaration is the international word for law. I don't know, lawyers here should correct me if I'm wrong. You know, it's like they came and said, this is how we want to be treated. This is what we want. And they have 46 declarations. You know, the first one said, you have a right, anything human rights that caters for everybody, you have a right to use it. Human rights, you know, all these human rights, you know, you can use it. That's the first declaration. That means you have a right. There's a human rights on on children, on youth. When you have these documents, you can now tell your country that you signed this treaty, you signed with the United Nations, you should do this. This is it, you write it, you submit it. I want to tell you that, see, apart from family and friends that came to support me, you see all these media people that came today, women and fear, I don't know anybody, I know that I don't know. They came on their own, it was later. I don't know anybody in ITV, I don't know anybody in AIT. They came on their own. And thanks to Douglas to make sure all those letters went to Abaji everywhere he's here. You know, so you don't need connection. You just need to use your intellect, your research, your expertise to get things done. So the second declaration, there are so many declarations. I will talk on I think the fourth one, self-determination. Just like Mr. Odia was saying, you can determine the way you want to be seen. You can determine, you know, this thing they'll say, like he said, people say disabilize, they say, why are you speaking vernacular here? Don't speak your language. That's why I'm so proud. I was free to tell and speak Yoruba, to speak. You can't stop me. You might only ask permission to interpret so you can get, but you have a right to determine. And the fifth declaration, there are 46 declarations, I want us to go back. The fifth one is that you maintain that culture. You can have your own government. You can decide that this is how I want to, because this is, without reading, just like she said, you can't know that you have this power. Do you know you can develop your own customary court? This is how we want someone that does this to be treated, just like they have the Sharia court. So you can determine our method for indigenous women's struggle. I'm hoping that by the grace of God, we will bring all this, we'll do video conference.